I don't think people realize just how big of an impact that Turki Al-Sheikh has had, not only in the boxing world by giving us free pay-per-views in the beginning of 2026, but also the UFC world. I mean, dude, Dana White in the UFC coming out today in the morning saying that they have signed with CBS and Paramount Plus in the beginning of 2026 with no more pay-per-views is ridiculous news, especially somebody who's running an MMA and boxing channel, my friends. We've saved about $3,000, and I'm telling you right now, our pockets have never been deeper. I mean, bro, Turkey getting into the ear of Dana White, joining forces with them, talking about how pay-per-view sales are just completely down because of people stealing it all the time, and people don't want to pay 80 goddamn dollars for a pay-per-view every single month, especially sometimes 2 times a month, right? Same thing for the UFC. It's $80 a month plus the ESPN subscription, and if you have UFC Fight Pass, it's plus that too. You're running about 120 a month. Well, my friends, the time of that is over. We're in a new era, and I'm telling you right now, man, I'm so excited for this, bro. The thing is, as the UFC fans are clearly winning when it comes to this new contract. You know, we're going to be getting free fights. We're not going to be having to pay for them no more. It's just going to have to be doing subscriptions. The question is, are the UFC fighters going to be getting paid? You know, they went from making $500 million a year with the ESPN deal that they had to making $1.1 billion a year in the 7-year, $7.7 billion contract that they just made with Paramount Global, my friends, who controls Paramount Plus and CBS. What is, again, your #1 American televised show in 2024 over NBC, ABC, and Fox, which is amazing, my friends. They're getting the most views out of any channel in America, which is absolutely ridiculous. You know, this new UFC that we're going to be getting is going to be crazy, man. They're going to blow up, especially when it comes to revenue sales, you know, with like shirts and shorts and gloves and just memorabilia and stuff like that. You know, they should start making jerseys. As you guys know, football, NFL, NBA, you know, these guys are out here getting paid a lot of goddamn money because not only are they selling a lot of tickets, but they're selling a lot of jerseys. They're selling a lot of merch. The amount of views and the amount of people that are going to be able to set their eyes on Paramount Plus and the fights that they decide to put on CBS, like, let's just put into example, if they decide to put the, 250th anniversary John Jones fight for some reason on CBS so the world could see on Saturday night, 4th of July next year. I mean, could you imagine the amount of eyes that are going to be on it? If they could figure out some way to start selling merch and start selling doing this and that, that's a good way for them to get a bunch of money. So not only they're going to be making the $7.7 billion, but also with all the ticket sales, bro, we're looking at a $10 billion deal here. So with them going from $500 million a year to $1.1 billion, possibly $2 billion, are the UFC fighters' pays going to be going up? For example, you know, in UFC 318, which was just a month ago with Max Holloway and Dustin Poirier, while Dustin Poirier retired, they came out to say that Max Holloway made a base pay of $1 million. And Dustin Poirier made a base pay of $1.3 million. So the question is, if UFC doubled in the amount of money that they're going to be making yearly, does that mean that the fighters' pay doubles? So does that mean like a fighter like Hamdi Abdul-Wahab, who's fighting for 10 for 10 in his first fight, which we confirmed with him, does that mean that they're going to be making 2020 now? Bro, they have to be getting paid more money. If you look at the NFL, if you look at the NBA, they're basically getting 50% of the money that's generated to these sports back to the NBA players, to the NFL players. UFC doesn't even give back 35%, my people. With them making all this cash and the pressure being off of them now, not having to sell pay-per-views anymore, you know, the pressure was on. You know, you're charging people $80, so you want to put on exciting fights. You want to be able to sell this card so the public wants to buy it. With them having this guaranteed money now, of course, they still got to be putting on the most exciting fights because now they got a different pressure to do with, which is trying to get subscribers to subscribe to Paramount Plus so the deal and everything works out. You know, Paramount Plus got to get paid in this too, my friends, but wait. It's absolutely ridiculous news, man. And that's all I'm wondering, man, if the UFC fighters are going to get paid, because that's one of the most important things in this, my friends. You see how much NFL players are getting paid, NBA players. They got the exposure on CBS, NBC, ABC, Fox. They got all this exposure, which drives up numbers and revenue. So the question is, will UFC fighters officially be getting paid more feria, man? I can't wait to see if this is going to happen. Dana White dropping this breaking news on us. You know, we still got 5 more pay-per-views. It kind of sucks. I'm buying the pay-per-view this weekend. I've already invited all my family, but it is what it is, you guys. 5 more, and it's the end of an era. I can't wait, bro.